Hey guys, Tizzou here, casting another game of Starcraft 2. We're going to have a Protoss vs Terran on Xel'Naga Caverns. It's going to be iNSoLeNCE spawning as the blue Protoss versus mTwDemuslim. Demuslim on the same team as Xel'Naga. Xel'Naga, a very high-ranked Terran, very high-ranked Zerg player, looking at Demuslim, thinking of Terran. Xel'Naga is a Zerg player. He's a very good Zerg player. I wouldn't be surprised to see a very good match coming out of Demuslim. Do not know very much about a Protoss player. Gonna bring up the production tab. Nothing but workers being produced. Very shocking for this early in the game, I know. Here comes the probe, and look at this. There. Oh, never mind. Here comes the pylon. I say this is an extremely early probe scout. Came before the pylon was even down. I was expecting some kind of cheese play, but now that the pylon has gone up in the base, I'm not 100% sure what to expect. Back at the Terran's base, supply depot deciding not to wall off. Very common play against Protoss. Walls are for Zergs, I say. Still producing nothing but SCVs. Again, shocking. A little bit of SCV probe interaction here. Probe getting away with just losing shields. SCV losing a little bit of health points. I doubt that's going to come into play at any point. Barracks being thrown down. I like this. He's making this as small of an interest as possible. If anything tries to get into his base, he's going to have problems. And it's going to be a little SCV probe dance off again. And look at the micro. He knows that his shields will regenerate quickly. He's being as pesky as possible. Still interesting. He sent this probe so early and is doing nothing but scouting with it. But he might have been afraid of some kind of Reaper play coming out of Demuslim and wants to be aware of anything before it comes. Back at the Protoss base, just a gateway, throwing down a very quick assimilator. I wouldn't be surprised to see if warp gates come out of this, especially with that gas going down. Once that Cybernetics is up, you'll have plenty of gas. Might even tech further, maybe even a robo. And still, that probe running circles around this poor Terran's base. Terran can do nothing, but now a Marine will come out. And look at the probe, knows the Marine was going to be a problem, decides to leave now. Not sure exactly what he's doing. Just dancing that probe out. The Marine rallied to the bunker, or excuse me, rallied to the ramp. Command center turning into orbital command, very standard Terran play. And look at this, opting to throw down a bunker. This is another interesting move to be not wasting, I shouldn't say, using 100 minerals on a bunker. He really wants these SCVs protected from both sides, limiting their access. Maybe our iNSoLeNCE player is known for some kind of early Korean all-in where they drop the pylons and they start attacking from behind the minerals where the SCVs has limited access to hitting them. And Supply Depot, man, he really wants to protect his SCVs. He is not messing around with his wall, but he's building the wall back. Not sure why, if he's chosen to do this, why he didn't just wall here, but he is the master. I am not, and there goes the bunker. Bunker just there in case any early show came. He's got his SCV there. He knows there's nothing early coming, and looks like chrono boosting out a Stalker. Very typical play to avoid getting the Zealot. The Zealot's just not that good against units that can kite it, at least until they get the Zealot charge. Excuse me. Throwing down a pylon, warp gate on the way, jump into the 8 PM tab. 198, 100, far beyond what I'm capable of. Great players indeed, because that is the measure of a great player. Units tab, 1 Stalker, 2 Marines, nothing too exciting, and double barracks. We're definitely going to see some kind of bio play out of our Terran player today. Excuse me again. And here we go, Twilight Council. Double gas Twilight Council. I'll be curious if he decides to go for storm play or some kind of quick blink Stalker play out of this. He's already gotten 1 Stalker, opted to skip Zealots. And oh, here we go, Zealot time. Bring up the production tab. Another option I've seen a lot of Protoss doing is to do a Sentry/Zealot army to deal with this Terran bio ball, and they get a fast charge on their Zealots, and this allows their Zealots to not be kited so easily. Puts force fields behind the units so they can't attack, move backwards, and uses the charging Zealots to do as much damage as possible. Because as you see right here, double tech add-on, and that is meaning a lot of Marauders most likely. Still Marines being produced. Here comes a Marauder, here comes Stimpack, here comes Combat Shield. He is going to probably push out as soon as these upgrades are done. I would be surprised to see anything otherwise. Back at the Protoss base. Now he is chrono boosting out Warp Gate in 1 gateway. Templar Archives, we're going to see Storm. 3 gateways, Storm play, very interesting play. Should be interesting to watch. Deciding to chrono boost out this Storm. He wants the Storm out, and he wants it out now. SCV coming in. Is he going to get any good information? No, denied. Is he going to use a scan? Doesn't look like it. So the Storm might be a very large surprise for our Terran player. And look at that. Majority Marines. The Storm is going to be extremely potent against Marines. Less so against Marauders. And it just so happens our Terran player is concentrating on Marines. very, very tough situation for our Terran to be in if he decides to push out and the storm is ready to go. Another factor, or excuse me, first factor going down, missile turret. I see a lot of Terran players do this. This is about the timing they're scared of a DT coming in. So they get this, they get this missile turret right around this time, so they're prepared for any kind of DT to come up. Jumping back to our Protoss base, there we go, Zealots mixed in with High Templar. Warp gates are done. Storm is almost done. Our Terran player probably missing his opportunity to really make use of this, but we'll see how his kiting of the storm is going to be. One single photon cannon going up in the back, does not want any drop play behind him. Still keeping very wisely. He's keeping these High Templars up on the cliff. He does not want an SCV to be aware of these just by walking into his into his army. Bioball now on the move. Here we go. Terran player getting ready to push. Getting the upgrade for the upgrade for energy for these High Templars. Wise decision. Everything's a wise decision when I speak. These High Templars, he wants to get as many storms as possible. See if this Bioball is capable of taking on these storms. I highly doubt it. Scan going down. He knows there's no expansion yet, and continuing to move his Bioball in. We'll see how the Protoss player reacts. Bringing in more Zealots, and still only 2 High Templars, but these 2 High Templars are going to be capable of getting a storm off each easily, and that could completely make the difference with this Marine compromised army. Terran player very wisely deciding to back off. He knows his Marines are going to be melted too quickly by that storm. Rallying with the rest of his Marines, deciding not to push even though he had just finished his upgrade. And Factory Scout, not going to be using any mech units this game, producing mainly Bioball units. I wouldn't be... Oh, here we go. I was going to say, I wouldn't be surprised to see a Ghost Academy. There goes the Ghost Academy. After you float a factory, you auto-attack the Ghost because you cannot normally win a game with just Tier 1 units. Tier 1.5 does not win games all the time, especially in the late game. Third player finally expanding. And here comes the scan. He knows there's going to be storm. Nothing else comes out of this building but storming units and Archons, and not many people build Archons. And here we go. Push coming in, storm going down. Look at those units turn from yellow. Oh, they're almost dead, just barely getting away. And now Medivacs on the field. Sniping the Stalker. The Stalker was the only thing able to keep up with that really fast sim speed, and now they're forced to back up, but they have these Medivacs, so the healing will be done in no time. Protoss player very wisely knows this and is trying to push while the Terran player still has weakened units. We'll see if this... he's not going to be able to do anything. To see the Zealot charge is almost done, but it's not done yet. All these Zealots are very tough to make use of when these units don't have charge. And look at that. Oh, he's trying to snipe the High Templars. Look at that. Xel'Naga just doing everything he can to stop that. He knows the storm is a crucial point in this. 150 spamming these High Templars. And here comes our Protoss player pushing the Terran player. Terran player just now exferring SCVs, or is he reinforcing his army? Nope, it looks like he's taking him back. He knows this is dangerous. And here comes the very crucial pylon. Oh, and the scan goes down. He's going to know this pylon is there, but he's going to be able to do anything about it. Zealots coming in. High Templars behind. Ghost Academy done. He's got one Ghost, it looks like, bringing up the units tab. Yes, one Ghost, and the Protoss player backing up. He knows that this is going to be an extremely tough point to push. He's not going to be able to storm the units up here while they're back here shooting the units as they come up the top. Very wisely knows that his game is going to be won by maintaining a macro advantage and not just by blindly pushing up a ramp. But now his opponent is allowed to establish his expansion. We'll see if the Protoss player is able to do anything to stop this. Most likely, I imagine that Terran player saw that with the scan. Yep, here he comes to take that out. I was going to say he shouldn't leave that there. I wouldn't be surprised if he did. And here we go. Factory got all the information in the world. He knows everything's going on. A robo facility added on. We'll see if he uses this for a dropship to do warp in play, or if he decides to add on Immortals or Colossi to his army. I would be surprised if it's Immortal Colossi, just because he's using so much gas on the storm. But with a robo facility, you never know. And adding on more gateways, having issues talking here, and here comes the upgrade. And look at this, interesting, the Bioball and the Protoss units has alternate directions, canceling that factory, barracks very wisely. Planetary Fortress, oh, this is going to be tough. Look at that, he's just getting his units melted. He's using the storm to try and kill the SCVs, but it's just not going to be enough. That Planetary Fortress, while being repaired, is very, very difficult to kill. And here comes the Bioball. I would be very surprised to see if the Protoss player comes out ahead of this. He was completely ahead, in my opinion, for most of this game, trying to kill that. And look at the snipes going off. Snipe, snipe, snipe on the High Templars and the Zealots. Zealots trying to come in and do some damage. Oh, and the wall was down. Poor supply depots, but it's not going to matter. Getting 1, 2, maybe 3 SCVs. Gonna get a 4th, it looks like. He's trying to get as many SCVs as possible, just melted down by these Marines. And back at our Protoss base, we see he's able to reestablish his army very quickly due to warp gates. He's chrono boosting warp gates, trying to get units as quickly as possible. He overcommitted a little bit to this planetary fortress attack. We'll see if our Terran player can take advantage of this, or if he's just going to be able to sit back and enjoy his macro advantage now that he's taken out so much of the army. Speaking of which, bring up the army tab 77 to 74. Our Protoss player establishing this expansion much sooner allowed him to rebuild his army much faster. Income tab 52 harvesters to 31. Our Terran player needs to build. Our Terran player needs to build SCVs and needs to build them quick because he's losing in the economy battle, and you never want to be in this position, especially against a Protoss player who can warp in units so quickly when he has that macro advantage. Here comes the attack. Storm going down. You can see the units turning from green to yellow. Zealot's forced to back up. He just doesn't have a very large army. He had 77 units with 50 of them being workers, and the snipes going off. This is not looking good for a Protoss player. He's taking out the units while taking extra damage, and the Archon goes down. Zealots go down. I don't know what our Protoss player is going to be able to do to stop this. Bring up the production tab, see if anything's on the way. Nothing is being created right now. Nothing out of that robo facility. I don't know what our Protoss player is going to be able to do to stop this. Probes coming off the line, fighting with everything he has left. And here, oh, the Nexus goes down. There goes. He finally defended this army with warped-in units, Storm, and probes, but the damage is done. Bringing up the army tab, actually 53 to 63, but bringing up the income tab, 44 of his units are workers, and only 35 of the Terrans are that of SCVs. Army tab is the one that shows it to actually surprisingly close on mineral spent. Bioball units just don't cost that much. I think that's why the advantage, and there we go. Look at that, using an EMP on the Observer. That was awesome. I'm glad I just happened by that time, but lucky Observer 2, watching his buddies go down, just dodges that bullet. We'll see if he gets EMP'd as well, but he's wisely sitting on this cliff, not moving. It's hard to see them when they're not moving. It's easy to see them when they're moving. Back at the Protoss base, long distance mining. Oh no, not what our Protoss player wants to do. He would be oversaturated. It's the only way he's going to make any extra economy. Excuse me. Scan going down. Scan's absolutely nothing. He knows there's nothing there. At least he has the advantage of knowing there's nothing there, just in case there were some units waiting for him. And very, very small army coming in. Let's bring up the units tab. It looks like we got 13 Marines, 2 Ghosts, and 6 Marauders versus 12 Zealots, 2 High Templars, and 2 Stalkers. And look at feedback on the Ghost. No more EMP for you. iNSoLeNCE just playing as well as he can, defending his expo as well as he can. That EMP could have been crucial. I know he has 2 more Ghosts. They're one there, they both are. They're still in the back, taking down these rocks, preparing to establish a third base, going right for the goal where those mules will be worth twice as much. And here we go. iNSoLeNCE knows he's got the watchtowers. Can't really do anything to stop it. He's completely stuck in his base right now. If he decides to push out, he's probably going to be in problems. And here comes the push. These Ghosts have energy. The last one that got feedback probably got unlucky. I would be surprised to be able to pull that off again. He looks like he wants to take that gold expansion. Did he see these units? I don't think so. No, he did not. He's attacking these rocks. But no, here's the Observer, that pesky Observer following the units. He's aware of this going on. And I think he's just got too many units for the Terran player to deal with. Storm, he was hoping the Terran player would commit. The Terran player did not commit. EMP, oh no, there goes the energy on all the High Templars. No Storm, oh no, he's going to have to defend this using nothing but Archons can't be made in time. The Zealots fighting the best. I don't think our Protoss players can be able to defend this. This Archon finally gets warped in. The Archon going down, almost dead. Second Archon being warped. All the energy is gone. Oh, our Protoss player quite the pickle, and he just gets one Storm off finally because of that energy upgrade, allowing him to warp it in and Storm instantly. But those EMPs did the toll, taking out all the energy from his High Templars, trying to warp in units desperately, warping in one High Templar, and here come the probes. He has a ton of probes, but is it going to be enough? It looks like this battle's going to be over, but no. Marauders just barely staying alive. Looks like our Protoss player is going to lose this game. Ghost still fighting away. This High Templar can do nothing but watch. He look cool. And there goes the last of the Zealots. Couple units being warped in. Our Protoss player, good games out. Awesome game between mTwDemuslim and iNSoLeNCE. It turns out that he just overcommitted trying to kill this planetary fortress. I think that was the turning point in this game. Very good game overall. This was Tizzou. I hope you enjoyed.